Hello and welcome to Project Home DIY. My name is Christine Gloat, the owner, curator, and designer of your Project Home projects. It's January. I cannot believe it, and this is January's project, and it's the perfect way to start out the year with all these words of inspiration and simplicity. I really want to bring in simple things. This is a simple project. It's easy to finish, it's easy to do, but it also brings simple, classic meaning into your decor in your home. We'll start with the frame, the backer board. It's beautiful faux shiplap if you'd like, or you can use the back and use just a solid. And then of course the 6 individual wood pieces, which you can flip-flop and do different one single word quotes on for the simplicity of it. Or if you have the capability to be able to make your own stencils, you can do unlimited amounts of words on these things. But I cannot believe the quality of this frame. It is a chunk of wood, and I'm so impressed and happy with it, as well as this backer board piece. This is no 1/8 inch, this is no 16-inch backer board piece. This is a 1/4 inch, it's awesome. And then this, the versatility, you guys, these are the coolest things because you can literally like plug in any other floral that you have that come on stems like this. Just pull them off and plug them into this wreath and like add in, you know, tiny red berries or tiny white little snowflakes or just fun things throughout the year if you want to. So let's get started with this, and we're gonna start with the sign and staining or painting or whatever you like. But I have a finished here. This is stained, and this is stained with dark walnut. It's a Minwax color, so the yellow can called dark walnut. Did the stain here, and then just a white paint in the background, stained the little signs, and used the same white paint, assembled the wreath and glued it on, and we're good to go. But this is the coolest. So love it, and let's get started. So I'm going to, we'll just keep it just like this. I'm not even gonna zoom the video in because I think you can see just fine. We'll bring it a little bit closer. But this time, I obviously don't want 2 of the same. I wanna be able to make things a little bit different. So I kinda wanna bring in our signature color, which this is like a slate blue. And then my favorite stain color is called Aged Barrel from Minwax. I have a tray down here that I can show you. This tray right here is stained in Aged Barrel, so it's just a nice gray that I think I'm gonna do some of this project in. Not all of it, but some of it. I kind of just love, I love our signature color. And then I do have some white. So get the colors that you're gonna be using and get set up to paint and stain. We'll set these to the side, we'll do those later. I won't forget them. I do like to take paper and set it out on my table because it just makes easy cleanup. There's lots of paper and packing material in your boxes. That works perfect for this. So what I'm thinking, ooh, I know, I got it. I think a stained aged barrel background. I'm gonna do our signature color in the frame, and then I'm gonna do white pieces in that, and then the words can be in the blue accent. That's it. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so when I stain, I do like to use gloves because I don't like getting my hands all stained up. So make sure you have some gloves. And then I take just an old washcloth and cut it up. There's some stain already on that, you can see. Just take a corner. Stain is very easy to use. A lot of people are intimidated by it. It's not a hard process at all. It's really super simple, easy. I don't like those hairy pieces that come off of there. Okay. There's barely any more in here because I'm looking around my shop and I noticed that my husband has been trimming our windows and doors out, and this is the color, and so him and I have been like using the same can. It's gonna be like mega, mega pigmented, but we'll just not use a ton. I'm just not gonna dip my rag in. So you literally just wipe stain on. This is nice wood, it's gonna soak in. So you can see that I started with unloading my rag. So with a wet rag, I started over here, went real quick over to here, and now I'm working my way back. So then I'm getting back into those wet spots of stain. Okay, like I said, my stain was super pigmented, so it covered a lot of it. There's not much grain showing, but what I'm gonna do later is sand a bit of it off so I can get a little bit more wood grain showing through. I'm gonna leave the back just like this. It doesn't need to be stained, you won't see it. You could almost make this double-sided. Obviously you won't have the lines on the other side, but you could totally flip-flop it if you wanted. Okay, I'm gonna set this in the heater. It dries it just a little bit faster because I like to keep things moving in our video. So let me set this in the heater and we'll get back to staining and painting. A lot of you ask me all the time, what heater do I use to dry my stuff? And it's just a small space heater. It's nothing special, just a space heater that blows hot air on the paint or the stain or whatever, and it just will dry it much quicker. I'm gonna leave my gloves on while I paint. I usually don't, but I'm going to. Get out some brushes. We're gonna paint this. Signature color. It's actually, shoot, what was this color called? Been using this color for years. So before I had Project Home DIY, I had a custom home decor sign making business, and this was like our signature color there too, and they kind of migrated and came with us. It's on the wall right here too. And yeah, that's our cement wall behind us, and I painted it because I didn't want plain cement. Okay, just gonna paint this frame up. Color combination between aged barrel and this color. Oh, it's Secluded Garden. That's the name of the color. Secluded Garden, I just remembered, came to me. That's the color that we use. Okay, I'm gonna fold this up just a tiny bit so I don't get anything on my white pieces. So if you want this color, Secluded Garden, I know it's from Ace Hardware, but just a little trick. Oh, I do use latex paint on like everything too, by the way. There's no need for any special kind of paint. Latex or acrylic works great on crafts. Wall paint is latex paint. I wish we could send latex paint in our projects, but we can't due to freezing. Acrylic doesn't freeze, or if it does, it doesn't affect it. You know, when you got to put all your paint in from freezing in the winter, it's true because it freezes, and that's latex. This won't, So I prefer to use latex paint, but we can't include it in our projects. So, but any kind of house paint, wall paint works. You don't need any special paint. Chalk paint is just a great upsell for a business. It's just a overrated dry matte paint that dries out real easily if you know it, you've used it. I prefer flat paint, and that's it, nothing special. Flat latex paint, that's all this is. Okay, so I'm just gonna paint these. You can paint different colors, different ones, whatever you like. I'm probably not gonna paint all of them, just for the sake of time. And I don't know how much I'll switch out my words anyways, but I do want a couple options, so I will probably paint 4. Yes, you'll have to put a Velcro dot over the words of one of them on the back side. If you do back and forth, just peel it off when you're ready to switch. If it messes up the paint, take a tiny paintbrush and touch it up. Not a big deal. Let me see if I can get one of my favorite techniques to work. Wet paint, just place it down on the paper. The paper starts to wrinkle and leaves a fun texture. Sometimes it looks more like a zebra print, but it looks kind of cool. Okay, so you get the idea. Just paint your little white blocks, and that's good for me because I do have those other ones too. Plenty. Okay, so Secluded Garden is our signature color paint. You can use that if you like it. Get a quart size, whatever you like. Think you're gonna use it of, but I love it. So do that for your favorite colors. Now let's get to assembling the wreath together while that stuff dries. Get rid of this. You'd think after about, oh gosh, what number project is this? Like 48? No, this is about 45 or 46 project video we've done that I would get used to bringing over water and being like super organized like that. No, didn't, not a chance. Okay. So in here, you're gonna find a bunch of floral pieces and parts, a metal wreath, round, some zip ties, and this important little guy right here. These are all for later. Take your metal wreath and you're going to attach this. I'm sure there's a specific name for it, but this piece is gonna go around it. It does seem to be a little long, and I'm hoping I can just cut it. I wanna cut it, but I think I can also just wrap it tightly like this. So I'm gonna wrap it tightly and run a zip tie through. Okay, just secure that zip tie as tight as it'll go. And add them in a couple more places. You'll never see them once the pieces are on anyways. I do have quite a bit of extra room here, so I'm gonna cut some of that off of the green just to get it out of there. Don't need it. Then from here, I'm gonna wait to assemble and put the floral on until I have it on the sign. I think it'd be easier. So I'm gonna set this to the side, and I have my sign. The colors are beautiful. Look at that color combination, but I do want to sand it up a little bit, give it some little bit of a dimension. So I'm gonna take the sanding block and just sand this. That quality. Okay, and I'm gonna take the frame and just give it a little bit of a sand as well. Okay, I'm just gonna dust off the frame a little bit here. So pretty. Look at, there's so many possibilities of colors. So pretty. Okay, I'm gonna sand my little blocks quick, and that's really important to get sanded well because of the stenciling. When you stencil, there can't be any raised areas, and you can't, or else the paint will leak underneath. No matter what brush, no matter what tool you use, your paint will leak underneath if it is raised. We have a lot of discussion about using different squeegees and so on. Don't need to do it. Just use a brush. If your stencil is not flat on the surface, it will leak. Or if there's bumps from your paint lines, it will leak. It's as simple as that. So I'm just gonna get these nice and sanded. Okay. And I'm actually gonna paint these real quick, or put my words on them. So I love to travel, so I'm definitely gonna do adventure and smile. I like that. Adventure and smile. They're reusable mesh stencils. So if you take it off the backing, you'll see that there's mesh in here. This takes place of your transfer tape. If you're used to using regular old stencils that have the backing and then the sticker and then the transfer tape, we don't need transfer tape because this mesh keeps everything together. So, sanded, clean surface. You saw me wipe these off. Super important. You stick it on a dusty surface, it's not going to adhere. This is sticky. So, place your stencil on the block. And now I like to hold it like this and see where I'm at as far as sides and top. I see I'm a little too high. You're kind of going at this blind because you can't see much. Again, I'm too high. Thankfully, I did choose a font that's pretty forgiving because it's got really uneven bottom. And so you can't even tell if you're a little off and not super straight. But just place it, get it placed. Once it's placed, flatten it down really well. That's important. Okay, I'm gonna put this one on. This tray is wobbling. Right. Okay, I'm gonna put the smile one down to peel it off. Stick it on. It's wobbling, that's annoying. Okay, let's see, paintbrush. There, on the tray. I'm gonna take my paint. Again, no special paint. This is latex paint. Obviously, if you use watercolor, it's gonna leak right under. Anything water would. Can't be too thin, but just paint right over it. Don't be afraid. You can't use too much. I could cover this thing in paint and it will still peel just fine. You can't overdo it with the paint. do not let the paint dry or else it'll stick in that mesh. Just think of it as a screen door, the mesh. It's screen, it'll fill up. So here we are, just peel it right off. Okay, this can be washed and placed back on the backing paper and reused as many times as you want, as long as it's still sticky. Here we go again. There it is. No leaks, we had a well-prepared surface. Oh my gosh, we used a paintbrush. We used non-chalk paint. Yep, you don't need it. $15 for a little container like that, you don't need it. It's not necessary. And a paintbrush works just fine. You don't need any special squeegees. Not necessary. Okay, so I have my 2 words done. Set that over there. I love it. The colors are perfect. Okay, you're probably wondering how to attach this. Super easy. Take this out. Take your hot glue gun. Put some big dots of glue right in the 4 corners. And then let's just smash that sign down in there. Done. If you put too much glue in a corner and it squashes out the front, we can fix that. I'm gonna flip this over, then I'm gonna flip it over on here so that's not hanging there loosely, just so I can look at my corners. There's a little hot glue gun string, but my corners are good. If yours were not, if your corners gacked out, then just take an X-Acto blade and just cut right up against the glue and then pick it out. You can pick it out with the X-Acto blade, pick it out. So get it out of there, it'll be fine. Okay, I'm gonna leave those down there because I want to keep that backer piece in there. Time to attach our wreath. And this is just done with hot glue also. I'm gonna set it there, and then I can see that the lines are the center. Or not the center, but I can base the center of the wreath off of the 2 lines. And then I'm just gonna take some hot glue and put it right underneath where I see the wreath is hitting the sign. Okay, and I'm just gonna hold it in place. I usually have a fun, really good lick your finger and hold the hot glue, but you can't really get your finger in there to hold the hot glue down, so I can't do that. If you lick your finger and then touch the hot glue, 1, it cools it quick. 2, it keeps it in the exact place that you wanted it. And 3, the hot glue doesn't stick to your finger. 4, it stays clear. It won't be all icky. So licking your finger to hot glue something down is a fabulous trick. Okay, so the wreath is attached. We're just gonna take all the little florals, substitute your own in and out, whatever you would like. Let me show you, this is the bundle from October. And literally, you guys, almost all faux floral is made like this, with these little plugs. So you could just literally like plug them in. Whatever, if you find something new you like, plug it in. So you don't have to stick with this, but silver dollar eucalyptus and regular eucalyptus is really super popular. So the way I like to do it is I'm just gonna go around and place things like the same. So I'm doing the regular standard eucalyptus right now. I'm just gonna place it every few little stems evenly. There's tons of floral, so don't feel like you're gonna run out. There's lots. Okay, now I'm gonna start, I have extra eucalyptus, I might plug it in later, but I'm just gonna start plugging these silver dollar ones in. just everywhere. And I'm going clockwise. So I'm putting 2 of these silver dollars between each regular eucalyptus. Okay, the wreath is done. There's the white stuff on the eucalyptus that might get on your sign. Just wipe it off. So pretty. Okay, if you find, my glue is set now, I don't need those underneath. If you find that some of your pieces aren't placing where you want them to, you can tack. Like just tack down pieces with your hot glue. So, you know, if you want to rotate a piece down and you want it to be sticking like to this leaf or whatever, just tack it. Like put a tiny bit of hot glue and place it where you want it to be. That just keeps stuff in place where you decided. So then you can take, there's that finished, and then last step. Simple. Oh, sun's coming in. Okay, I'm gonna take 1 of the Velcro dots. I'm taking and stacking it and putting both on there. So sticky side. And then I can see where I want the sign to be placed. Maybe there. Center it. And then it's stuck, but it's removable. There it is. We have a couple examples here. Oh, we got the white stuff everywhere. Here are 2 examples of this month's project. Definitely done different ways. Beautiful, painted, stained, painted, whatever you prefer. But the options are endless and the simplicity is there. Let's begin 2023 with a simple year. Till next time, see you in February with, oh my gosh, what is it? You want a sneak peek? I think I got one. Hello. Those are gonna be in your February box. So don't miss it and make sure you join us for a brand new technique with some absolutely amazing artwork. We'll see you then. And until then, happy crafting and enjoy. Bye.